McAfee joins us today. You can follow him on Twitter at Pat McAfee Show. This guy, again, I didn't know this. He's a Guinness World Book holder, Guinness World Record holder for kicking a 40-yard field goal blindfolded. That's hard to do, man. I mess with him all the time about kickers not being people, but that's a pretty good feat right there. And Pat McAfee joins us right now. Pat, fam, thanks for being here.
Eric, thank you so much for having me on. What an incredible honor this is to chat with you a different network. This is great. Law Daddy Brockman, what's going on? I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. And I am a world record holder, but there's been about 50 kids in high school on the internet that have already broken that. So I don't know if I still have the record.
What's up, brother?
That's an impressive thing. I mess with you. I mean, I think I'm more impressed by that than your tackling prowess, even though you think you are, in your second life, you're going to be a linebacker, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a monster. Everybody knows that. But every time I make a tackle or one of those things happen, I am sore for about 14 days straight. So I know that I can't be a linebacker. I'm a bit too soft for it. But if I close my eyes, run into a guy, and he falls over, on film I look good, and that's really all that matters at the end of the day.
Pretty much. Seriously, though, how worried? When you found out that you had taken that picture out, did you really think something was going to come from it?
Eric, I had the mouth sweats. I thought I was going to vomit. I had no idea. We had just got done with a huge playoff victory, wild card victory. Was planning on going home, having a good time, turning up, as the kids say. And all I started doing was just sweating and vomiting. And I called Andrew like 400 times, but he has his flip phone turned off during the games. I wanted to be the first one to tell him. I'm sure I was not. But Andrew got over it quickly. The Indianapolis Colts, not so much. I had to pay a $10,000 fine. That was a $10,000 photo. I'm damn near Picasso right now, brother.
You know what? I do love you. You are an idiot, though. I'm glad. See, all these skills that you have for making people laugh, you're taking to the stage now. So did you have any mouth sweats or anything the first time you got on stage?
No. So I to be honest, I've been telling stories to like my friends and family for as long as I could remember. And one of my friends, his name is Bob Kavoyan. He's one of the hosts of the Bob and Tom Show that's based out of here in Indy. It's nationally syndicated. I was telling him stories one night. We're having a couple of strawberry margaritas. And he said, why don't you get on stage and tell a couple of these stories? And the first time I got on stage, it was in front of 1,800 people. And it was like a sink or swim moment. And it went well. And to be honest, that moment and the feeling of just giving people an escape and letting them laugh is just so fulfilling. I have a blast with it, man. And to be honest, you kind of alluded to it earlier. I find myself in some ridiculous situations, and mostly it's my fault. I mean, I understand that. But when you're at the bottom of the totem pole in the NFL as a punter, and you've kind of had a chance to enjoy the ride, we went from the Super Bowl to almost completely defeated 2 years later. And then all the lifestyle things that come with it, from an observation standpoint, the comedy writes itself. So all I do is just get up there and tell stories, and people seem to enjoy it, man, because it's kind of an inside look behind the curtain of the NFL that you never really hear about from somebody that everybody just assumes is just like them, and that's what I am.
Hey, Pat,
I'm a regular dude who happens to have a cannon attached to my right hip, and people seem to enjoy the situation.
The boomstick. I knew it was coming.
Hey, Pat, it's Law. So you alluded to it there. You said bottom of the totem pole, but can you explain to people what who or what Tonto is and why he's at all of your comedy shows?
Yeah, so Tonto is my homie. He's my roommate. Tonto is a cigar store Native American. He's 6'5". He's a wooden sculpture of a Native American, and he's just this handsome devil. And I posted a video with him on the internet one day, and he got more popular than I did really quickly. So we started bringing him around. We got girls taking selfies with him, sending him letters. It's like he could have a date any given time he wants. And I brought him on stage. He has a horrible personality, though. He's a little stiff, but ladies like the way he looks, and that's what it's all about.
Well, if the next venue or the biggest venue you can see yourself playing, what would that be? Where do you want to take your comedy?
I'm not sure, because we did 4 stops in Indiana. We went Evansville, Indiana, Wabash, Indiana, Muncie, Indiana, and Bloomington, which is where IU is. Because outside of Indiana, nobody has a clue who the hell I am. So the what we're trying to do is kind of maybe expand a little bit, keep it moving. But when I was in 4th grade, I went on a field trip to a place called Heinz Hall in Pittsburgh. Okay, it's like the very nice uppity theater, and I got kicked out for talking. And I think if I could do that place, if I could sell that place out talking, I think that would really be the world coming full circle for me. And that's the place that's on my dream. Morgantown, obviously. But anywhere anybody is willing to pay money to see me tell stories, I'm completely down to go. But Heinz Hall is high on the list, all because of my 4th grade teacher telling me to shut up and then making me just sit in the bus while a world-class pianist is up there playing. I think that's the goal right there.
You know, I like that. I thought you may have gone Radio City Music Hall since you weren't there for the draft and you were in the 7th round. But I like that story better. That is really taking it full circle.
Well, I think Radio City Music Hall is really high hopes. I think Heinz Hall, I have a chance because I'm from Pittsburgh and some people know me there. If I get popular in New York, where I get a chance to sell out Radio City Music Hall or perform there, I think we've really done something great. But it's going to take about 30 years to build up the demographic out there, ED, and you know that, and I know that. So I'm a realistic person.
Well, you know what? Something realistically that you did that is great. I've gone on these tours before. You did a USO tour over in Japan with some teammates and coaches. What was that experience like?
It was absolutely incredible. It's one of those things where you're asked to go on a USO tour. You're immediately honored that you even get approached to do it, or you're in the position to do it. I'm lucky to be in the NFL, and these types of things come along with it. And we flew to Japan, which is literally on the opposite side of the world. And you get over there, and you get a chance to meet these 18 and 19-year-old kids who are stationed over there, or some commanders and captains who are deployed over there, and you're literally just bringing a piece of America to them when they're on the opposite side of the world, holding it down for us. And a lot of them don't make enough money to fly back home, so any piece of home is welcomed. And to get a chance to kind of shake hands over there, meet the men and women of our military who are truly heroic, it was awesome. It was awesome. But the country of Japan, that was an interesting place, ED. You're playing charades to try to talk to them the entire time because, like, the French language you can guess, the Italian language you can, Spanish the same, but Japanese, you have no chance of understanding what the hell they're saying. I was playing charades with these people just trying to find a bathroom. I'm like, okay, two words. All right, 2 words. I got to sit down and I got to let it eat. Where is that? And they go, hi. Konnichiwa. I had no idea what the hell they were saying, but it was an honor to go over there, meet the men and women of our military. The country of Japan is an interesting place, very, very orderly people, but it'll be something I'll remember for the rest of my life, and I'm very lucky that I got asked to go over.
Yeah, you know what? I do agree with you. It's a different country. The communication was difficult. It was hard to find something to eat while I was there. Very hard.
A lot of weird. I mean, they're an island, you know that.
Yeah.
So a lot of fish. But I had a sardine sandwich with mayonnaise, mustard, and tomatoes, and I almost vomited. And they were looking at me like I was the disrespectful one, and I had to hold it together and just go, hi, and I had no idea what was going on, man. But it was an interesting experience. But meeting the men and women of our military over there, just like meeting men and women of our military everywhere, it's very honoring. It's really cool to kind of give them a dose of home for a little bit, because a lot of them get homesick, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
It's a 14-hour time zone difference. It was a really cool experience I'll remember forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are always great experiences. I hope you had some sake with that sardine sandwich. That sounds truly horrible. Mayonnaise and sardines and mustard. That's you probably needed sake after that.
Yeah, it was a vomit comment, and I took a couple tours with the sake. I introduced myself to the Japanese culture as hard as I possibly could a few nights. And the sake was it tastes like water after a certain amount of it. So I had a good time over there.
Pat, this is a critical question. Do you go warm or cold sake? Because that's very important.
We did both, because it depends on where you're at. Because each town kind of had its own little special. I drank a venomous snake moonshine, I think it was, at one place. And boy, I thought I was dead for sure the next day. But I got intoxicated in a lot of cities in Japan, met a lot of great people. And it was just a good time, man. It was an absolute blast. Would I go back? I don't know, but it was a good time.
I'm going to get into your football team. You mentioned it before. You guys are, on track where it looks like you're heading to a Super Bowl, and then things fell apart for you last year. What's the feel? You're getting ready to start up the new year. What's the feel of that locker room, that organization?
Well, we for sure underperformed and underwhelmed last year, and with Chuck and our GM coming back, I think we're real excited to kind of keep things moving. If we keep Andrew healthy, I think everybody knows it. Andrew is our franchise. He's the smartest person I've ever met. He's a freak athlete. He can make every throw. I think we all know that if we can keep him healthy and we can keep our defense making some plays, get off the field, I mean, we got a team where we can really do some great things. We know that in all three phases. We just got to put it together. And I think last year was quite a punch in the face for all of us. And nobody likes losing, especially as a professional athlete. You hate it. But whenever expectations, which inside the locker room are always high, but whenever they start coming from outside the locker room, you start really feeling the need to perform and to do well. And when we didn't do that, I don't want to say embarrassing, but it's a slap in the face. So I think we got a team that's itching to get back. We got an extra preseason game. We go to London. We got an early bye week. We got a lot of obstacles to take on, but I think our team is excited to get started, excited to get back in there, and excited to give our fans a brand of football that they deserved and thought was coming last year.
I like it. I like that attitude, but that's the attitude I always expect from you. But something that I don't know if I know exactly what to expect on is your 40 time. We've been messing with Rich and talking about his 40 time. What do you think you'd run the 40 in right now?
So I've never ran a timed 40 in my life. There's one on the Google, okay? You search my name on the Google, you're going to see an interesting professional mugshot that was taken. It's
Okay.
kind of a mix. It's a mix of Carrot Top and Nick Nolte. You're going to see how much money I make. I'm underpaid, but I'm overpaid in life. So it's very acceptable and appreciated. But they have a 40 time listed there, and I think it's one of the most disrespectful things I've ever seen. It's like a 4.9 something, and I've never ran a time 40. I saw that Rich today broke under 6, which was incredible in a suit. He has that bald head, which gives him some aerodynamics. So
I agree.
It's kind of cheating, but we're all proud of him. I want him to know that we're all proud of him, and I think you guys are too. But I think if I was to train for it, I think I could get down 4.6-ish. I think I could. I really think I could. But let's be more. Let's shoot the 4.7. I think I'll sit at the 4.7 range. Probably pull a hamstring because I haven't ran in about 8 years really. That's why I chose to punt footballs. But 40 yards is a long way to sprint, and hopefully I never have to do it again.
Well, you make everyone run that 4 because you have the boomstick. And you make everyone have to run 40, 50 yards down the field. It's only fair we get to see you run a 41 time, man.
Well, anytime I'm running, it means something bad is happening. That means a big return has happened. It's usually my fault. So I usually just black out, and I'm so angry. But anytime I run more than 3 steps, it's usually something bad. But I'll train for that 40. I'll give you one here at the end of OTAs. At the end of spring, I'll videotape one and send it to you.
I like it. I'm going to hold you to that, man. Colts punter, Pat McAfee. Follow this guy at the Pat McAfee Show. And best of luck to you guys, man. You know, as much as I mess with you about kickers not being people, you're my guy.
Hey, ED, you're my guy too, man. I really appreciate you for having me on here. Some kickers aren't people, so you're in the right there.
Thank you.
But everyone I know is. So thank you so much. You guys have a great day.
All right, good stuff, Pat.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.